Hello and welcome to Unintended Adventures. This is a play podcast where our party will be playing Dungeon World for the first time. Imagine Dungeons and Dragons, but simpler and more imaginative. The game operates on a 2d6 system, so skill checks and actions either fully succeed, partially succeed, or fail entirely. But at least you get some experience from failing. My name is Jeremy, and I will be your host and game master. Let's meet the rest of our party.
Hello, my name is Alec from the 321 Backlog Podcast. I'm going to be playing Handy, a tiny goblin druid.
Hey, my name is Matthew. I will be playing your friendly paladin human, Mimi.
Hi, my name is Jake, and I'll be playing your human immolator.
Hi, I'm Grish, and I will be playing your sticky-fingered thief, Rose.
Now, while this is the first episode of our adventure, there are two previous episodes available. The first is our world-building episode where we play the game The Ground itself to discover the world and its history. Following that is our character creation episode where each player is given a short interview on the character they'll be playing and fleshing out some of the details of the world. Now, if you've never played Dungeon World, don't fret. Neither have we. During these initial first few episodes, we'll describe the system in a bit more detail so you can follow along. As I stated before, the game runs on a 2d6 system, so when a player wishes to do an action, like hack and slash, which is the name for attacking, they roll 2 dice and add their appropriate modifier. 0 to 6 is a failure, 7 to 9 is a partial success, and 10 plus is a full success. One of the major tenets of this game is to be a fan of the players and to follow the fiction. You don't need to roll to murder a sleeping guard. They are asleep and defenseless. Actions follow what makes sense narratively. Another key element is to play to find out what happens. Prep work is important, but it also emphasizes not to prep too much. We are here to discover the drives and interests of the party and the world they want to explore and interact with, not some extensively crafted experience a GM railroads them into. There will be plenty to talk about as we go, so let's just hop into it. Tonight is a celebration for the harvest, taking place at the one and only hangout for miles, the rooftop. Everyone is gathered for a night of simplicity and relaxation. How are you guys celebrating?
Merriment and revelry.
I think Handy's going to be kind of like hanging around the back of the tavern where they typically throw away their scraps and things, and maybe talking to some of the kitchen staff and just kind of hanging out, kind of not really in the shadows, but just kind of out of the way and not near all the noise.
I will be somewhere out on a patio looking out over the patrons or everything outside and all that.
Mimi
Well-
is sorry. Mimi is just going to kind of be hanging out, mingling. Generally just a steady eye towards the door, but mingling, having fun, meeting people.
Rose is doing nothing now because everyone talked over her. No.
Parties are like that.
I know, right? Especially when you're a halfling and you're kind of small, everyone just doesn't look down. She's enjoying mingling. She's lived in the city for a little bit, that she recognized some folks, and she's enjoying having good food because during the harvest, food is plentiful, and at the celebration, I assume they probably have, here's some free food. It's a buffet kind of thing. So yeah, she's just kind of enjoying that atmosphere, trying to keep her hands to herself, especially since food is available. She's not really looking to pick any pockets tonight.
It's still entertaining that the thief of the group is more interested in the free things. Like, the goodies, give me stuff.
Yes, please.
The owner of the bar, Ralph, a stout, middle-aged man with a welcoming smile and a rugged face and a nice salt and pepper beard, gives a hoot and holler outside, calling everyone in, because there's people scattered up top on the second floor, which is the only building around above 1 story, which just makes it so impressive. So there's people up top on the roof, and there's people outside mingling, and he calls everyone in for a toast. And things don't really quiet down because everyone's kind of doing their own thing, even though Ralph's trying to shout over everyone about what's going on. Amidst the conversation, a hush falls over the tavern, but it's not that everyone has stopped talking, but the sounds around you, the conversations, seem to have dulled to a silence. And a voice resonates within your mind.
Flee now, they're coming.
What do you do?
Assume that I drank too much or I ate something weird and continue on.
That must be why this food's free.
Exactly. It's like, oh, this is the stuff they didn't want to keep for their own families. I got it.
Mimi's gonna say, "That's a new voice," and then stand up, like stand forward and yell for everyone to hurry and flee.
Are you used to hearing voices?
Like, I'm not unaccustomed to divine intervention and instruction, even if it is of my own making.
Are you commanding people to flee?
I would use command, yeah.
So go ahead and read that skill to us. I am the law.
When you give an NPC an order based on your divine authority, roll plus charisma. We'll roll and get a 9.
You should be able to select the skill and roll for it.
Oh, do it. Okay, a 10, even better. I'll accept that over it.
All right, so let me hear what you shout out to the tavern.
Quick, everybody run! As I throw open the door.
A couple of people sitting down in the back pick up and immediately take off. There's no hesitation. They leave their belongings behind and they are out the door. But not everyone was so quick to get up, and not everyone actually heard what you said. But you got a few people out the door.
I think Handy's gonna start coming into the building, kind of like moseying through like the back into like through the kitchen into the main room to hear what's going on from the shouting.
I would have shot up and started looking around, seeing if anyone had said that he could see.
Yeah, you just kind of tilt your head around, and everyone seems to be kind of going about their business, minus a few people you saw run out the door. You can't really place where that voice came from. We managed to get a few people out the door, and as the fourth or fifth person takes off into the street, the door starts swinging shut. It starts to slow down. You know, first it swings in real hard and then out, but then it's not coming back. As you notice that the flames of the candle aren't flickering nearly as fast as they should. And everyone just kind of stops moving. And you look around and realize that you guys are the only ones unaffected by this. And it starts getting really cold. And outside, you can hear something approaching. What do you do?
Time would have been at the top of the stair. Come down when Rough covered. I probably would have ran back upstairs to the patio to see down, see what's coming in, if anything is.
Mimi is right next to the door, so like, do I hear, like, I hear people coming down the street?
You could just hear, it's like muffled voices. Time when you peer over, you know, the edge of the balcony, you're looking around and you don't see anything moving. And it sounds kind of like the voices are coming from kind of directly under you, because the porch overhangs. There's like a deck underneath, so you can't see necessarily right underneath you, and you can't make out the voices. They're just kind of muffled.
Anything directional from like the back room area, like near like the back exit?
No, from the very back of the building, you probably wouldn't hear much of anything. Although it's dead quiet right now, so we'll retcon that and say, yeah, there's probably just a little bit of noise, but it's coming from the front of the building still, so it's pretty faint. But nothing's moving and everything's frozen, so sound travels actually pretty well.
Yeah, Handy will keep making his way farther into like the main gathering room and start looking around.
What's Rose doing?
Rose would have already been in the main room with everybody,
Mhm.
having a toast and all that jazz.
How are you feeling now that everyone's frozen?
That's weird. It definitely is weird. I don't like that as much. But I'm not frozen, so that's a good thing. But it did get really cold really quickly. Is there any sort of, like, on the glass or any of the glasses on the bar, is there any, like, signs of frost or cold itself?
It's like slowly creeping in from the edges of the windows. The glasses are slowly chilling, and you can start to see your breath in the air.
That's odd. Winter is not supposed to come this quickly. She is going to one of the people that are near her that has, like, happens to have a shawl or some sort of fur something. She's just going to grab that and wrap it around her shoulders, and I guess go up to one of the windows that she can actually reach or can climb up to a table or something to look out of, and kind of try to scrape away the frost and see if she can look outside.
Yeah, you look outside and there's not a lot going on. Handy, kind of move from the back of the bar into the main area, and you see this small halfling kind of doodling on a window, peering outside, trying to look through some frost, and Mimi's at the door still and kind of looking around, kind of confused.
Am I able to see the front door from a vantage point?
If you were to like lean really far over, maybe, but you would risk falling off the roof.
Okay, so
And I look out the door and see nothing.
Well, you see the street and, the building across the way and a few people frozen mid-stride.
Is anybody immediately near me? Like, do I have anyone like close to me?
Yes, you're in the bar and it's packed to capacity and then some.
Okay, so within arm's reach, like, can I reach out and poke them? Like, is there fabric frozen in time? Is it just them not moving? So they're like rigid. They're just static.
Well, yes and no. So, like, you poke someone's sleeve that's draped down and it moves and stays where it moved to. So things can be manipulated, but it's not moving on its own.
okay.
Yeah, I'm just sort of concerned and cautious and tentative. I don't really know what to do with this thing that I've never seen before.
Would I be able to do a, I guess, discern realities check?
What are you trying to discern?
Just if it's,
What's the goal specifically?
I guess the goal is trying to figure out if this is just like an area effect, what's happening is just affecting the bar, or if it's like a whole town itself.
Okay. Yeah, so that's we'll have you roll a discern realities. When you closely study a situation or person, roll plus wisdom on a 10 plus, ask the GM 3 questions from the list below. On a 7 to 9, ask only 1, take +1 forward when acting on the answers. Questions being what happened here recently, what is about to happen, what should I be on the lookout for, what here is useful or valuable to me, who's really in control here, what here is not what it appears to be. All right, so you rolled and got a 4. Go ahead and mark XP because when you fail a roll, you get experience.
Okay, so I can't tell nothing.
No questions for you.
Andy's gonna be coming around from the bar. I think grabbing like probably an apron because the temperature's dropping, probably off of Ralph himself, and looking at Rose most because I think she's the closest looking out the window, and say, "Do you see anything?"
Her face is pressed up like right against it, breathing. She looks away. Her nose and cheeks are red from pressing against this cold glass. No, there's nothing out there. Oh, you're moving too. Hey, you're not frozen.
Nope.
I'm not frozen either.
Nope.
She kind of moves to emphasize her point. Why are we not frozen? Is it because we're short?
I don't know. And I'm like taking the apron and like wrapping it around like an old lady's hood and like tying it off around my neck. And just so you just see this like leather apron with a little green face coming out of it.
Do you think the cold air is going above us? Is that why we are not affected?
Maybe.
Well, there's nothing happening outside. The cold seems to be coming from the outside, but it's not snowing or anything outside.
Who else? He's moving, and then I'm gonna point at the guy by the front of the front door, which I think is Mimi.
Yeah, I kind of look over and see that you two are over there. Do you guys know what's happening?
Oh, well, there goes my theory of us being too short, because he's definitely taller than we are.
I don't know. What do you see?
I don't see anything. Everyone's stuck.
I'm not stuck.
You're not stuck, and he's not
No.
stuck, and I'm
No.
not stuck.
But you're tall.
Everyone else is stuck, and you're short.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're both short, and you're tall.
I don't know what that means, but
Well,
they're
I
not
thought
moving.
I thought we weren't stuck because maybe the cold went over us, but now
Is
I
it
feel
not
like
cold
that's
down
wrong.
there? Because it is really cold in here. Yeah.
It's cold. It's cold. My nose is cold.
Yeah, it's kind of chilly. Yeah, I don't know why no one else is moving. And I kind of look around the room and see if I can see anybody else that's maybe also like not stuck.
Well, you don't see anyone else, but you do hear a few small pops, and you see this shadowy inkness puff into existence and dissipate really fast as a few small demonic imps materialize into the tavern. The largest one, adorned with sinister horns and some crimson eyes, hisses with a malevolent grin.
Ah, fresh souls ripe for the taking.
Another imp turns to the larger one and says,
Hey, Embermaw, do you think Master will be pleased with souls this time?
Grinsnare, maybe if you stopped feasting on our collections, you wouldn't have to worry. So if I catch you eating even a single soul, your body will be given new horns from whatever I find lying around in places where horns do not belong.
Okay, I promise not to eat their souls in entirety, Embermaw.
No snacking.
There's a third imp walking around, and it seems to just be messing with the patrons, turning glasses upside down, tying shoelaces together, pulling the pants down on a few people. And the room quiets again. The imps kind of fade into the background as that voice reaches out to you again.
You must stop them. Protect the innocent.
As the imps start siphoning the life force from the frozen patrons. What do you do?
How far away is the closest imp from me? Like I'm at the door. They spawned in the middle of the room.
Yeah, about 10 feet.
Okay, first, can I use spout lore to consult my accumulated knowledge and kind of remember if am I familiar with imps that eat souls? Is this like time freezing imps that eat souls? Is this something that is within my realm of knowledge or experience at all?
Sure. So, spout lore. When you consult your accumulated knowledge about something, roll plus intelligence. On a 10 plus, the GM will tell you something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. On a 7 to 9, the GM will only tell you something interesting. It's on you to make it useful, and the GM might ask you, how do you know this? Tell them the truth.
I rolled an 8.
All right, so I only get to tell you something interesting. It's on you to make it useful. So imps they can be tasked with a handful of things, but generally they are low-end collectors. Sometimes that's magic, sometimes it's souls, sometimes it's information.
Okay, so they're kind of like back alley crooks and criminals and peddlers.
Mm-hmm. How did you learn about that?
I presume just years of traveling and kind of exploring, and you just kind of pick up the places not to go, and sometimes those places have imps on the corners that are selling illicit things.
The tame ones, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Selling snake oil.
Yeah, among other things.
You got a lot of experience buying stuff from imps?
I don't, but I do have a lot of experience with kicking the asses of imps that were bad. So, like kind of potato. Like, I didn't really buy anything from them, but I sold them some cans of kick-ass. So the last thing, I was just told by a voice to protect the innocent, which is, like, and to that I just respond, obviously. And then
You say that out loud?
Yeah, just passively. Like I hear that voice and I'm just like, obviously. And then I pull out my Warhammer hatchet and I charge at the nearest imp.
How big is this weapon?
Oh, well, I'm about 5'10", so it's about like 5.5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Is it sharp? Is it stabby? Or is it more like swing it down and smush things type of weapon?
All of the above. It is... Should I show our audience? I can do that thing for a visual representation, or I can describe it. I do.
He does.
It is, in fact, this. So it is both sharp and stabby and smashy.
All right. Well, you are in a very crowded tavern.
I am, yes. And in this circumstance, it would be more of a charge and like a charge and smash kind of situation. I assume, how tall are the ceilings? Do I have room for an overhand swing?
You do.
I would probably do a short overhand swing, like hafted up the shaft of the weapon.
Given the proximity of everyone nearby without anyone being moved beforehand, making an attack is kind of risky because there's people everywhere and the imps are small. So if you want to make an attack in this fashion, you're going to have to make a defy danger first.
Okay.
Defy danger is when you act despite an imminent threat or suffer a calamity, say how you deal with it and roll. And you have your additional modifiers, so you can power through it with strength, getting out of the way or acting fast with dexterity, by enduring with constitution, with quick thinking using intelligence, through mental fortitude with wisdom, and sing charm and social grace through charisma. On a 10+, you do what you set out to do. The threat doesn't come to bear. On a 7 to 9, you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. So the difficulty here is that you're trying to swing this weapon to hit a small thing without hitting anyone else, being all the patrons who are frozen in place.
Yeah, I would use dexterity to sort of stutter step and sidestep as quickly forward as possible through the crowd. So I will roll a defy danger. I got a 6. A 5. Oh my gosh, I have a -1 to dexterity. Holy crap. Okay, I got a 5.
No.
Fell on my
Oh,
face.
no.
All right, so you're definitely going to injure a patron swinging your weapon.
That's unfortunate. But do I hit the imp?
Well, that's where the hack and slash is going to come in. So yeah,
hack
you're gonna clock a patron as you swing your weapon, but you're trying to hit the imp, so you need to roll a hack and slash. When you attack an enemy in melee, roll plus strength. On a 10+, you deal your damage to an enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may choose to do an additional 1d6 damage, but expose yourself to the enemy's attack. On a 7 to 9, you deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you.
Seems reasonable. Ooh, I will take a 10 for smash the imp in the face, please. Well, accidentally also smashing someone else, probably in the chin with the back end of my staff.
Remember to look at the chat because it'll add your modifiers.
Yes, so you got a 12.
Oh,
which is
thank you.
a success.
You're right.
You deal your damage to the enemy and avoid their attack. At your option, you may choose to do an additional 1d6 damage, but expose yourself to the enemy's attack.
Yeah, double down. Smash in the face again for good measure.
All right, so you should have a weapon roll. What does your weapon do for damage?
It does +1 damage.
No, what's the dice you're rolling? Is it a d6 or a d8?
I have to go. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. This is new to all of us. My damage dice is a d6.
All right, so you should be able to roll 2d6.
Yeah, nat 12.
All right. Now you opened yourself up to its attack, so I want you to roll another d6.
Oh, take that. 6. Fire.
So you're maneuvering through the crowd, and you're going to bring your what did you call it? A hammer, a staff,
A hammer axe staff. That sounds right.
Bring your hammer staff out from behind you, and you don't see you thought you had clearance, and you definitely on the upswing do some significant damage to one of the arms of the patron behind you as you're moving overhead. And the imp takes notice by the sound of your weapon hitting the individual behind you. And it turns and opens its mouth and shoots out this spray of, you might think it was acid, but it's kind of like lava. Like it's not a fireball and it's not fire. It's like liquid flame. And you take 6 points of damage. But this is a game with armor. So the way damage is done is you have a set HP and a set amount of armor, and armor just negates damage entirely. So how much armor do you have?
1.
All right, so you're going to take 5 points of damage. But I want you to describe to me how your follow through as you're running into this liquid flame obliterates this imp.
So I run, start to bring up my hammer staff, whack the guy in the arm, and as he spits at me like some sort of ugly Dilophosaurus, and I swing around, I just run straight through it, just arc style. Just take it on the chest and, like with zero regard. I'd rather take all of his spit on me than risk him spitting on someone else. So I just pretty much charge it and embrace it. Not really any inclination towards dodging it.
What does the imp's death look like? How are you using your weapon to kill it?
The hammer bit straight down in an arc, just right into his crown. And his death is really unceremonious. He just kind of just buckles and drops to the ground. It's not really spectacular. There's not really any blood or guts. The hammerhead just penetrates the skull, just leaves a little indent in it, and knees buckle, and he just falls, just thunk.
Time, you're upstairs, and you hear a pretty significant thump downstairs in the tavern.
Yeah.
What do you do?
He's gonna start heading down the stairs, and as soon as I see the imps, it's gonna trigger a times more aggressive response.
All right, there's an imp at the bottom of the stairs.
I just want to try and grab and hold him still for a second.
So, remember earlier when you asked me what my armor and my HP was? It turns out I was looking at handy. It is, in fact, much better than the words I said. So, I was like, geez, this is the weakest paladin ever.
You've been playing with Handy's character.
I was surprised. I was like, 1 armor? That seems low.
Yeah, I thought so too, but I'm new to Dungeon World, so I didn't question it. Now it makes sense because he's a little tiny druid. I have 2 armor and 25 HP. So does 2 armor change the amount of HP I lose?
Damn.
Yes, you only lose 4.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. My apologies, Jake.
So,
You're good.
Time, you're just gonna reach out and try grabbing.
Yeah, just kind of wrestle him down to the ground or something like that because I got questions.
Are you trying to injure it?
I guess, yeah, more or less injure it. Almost kind of like a wrestling move, like hip throw into the ground.
All right, so that'll be a hack and slash.
Hack and slash. So hang on 1 second. Hack and slash is different, so I'm gonna have to change my hack and slash for the immolator, and he uses a different thing whenever he's on fire, and I'm not on fire currently.
So for you being an immolator, your hack and slash is with intelligence when you're on fire and strength when you're not.
Yes.
All right, and so you would roll it with strength this time, right?
Yeah. I changed it. I was able to change it over, which is not good because he's actually not a strong guy. Oh, for complications.
All right, so you run down the stairs and you see this imp at the bottom messing with one of the patrons, and he hears you coming. And you lunge at him to try and wrap him up, try and throw him down to the ground, try to pin him, and he looks up at you and says,
Oh, not today, boss.
and bites you on the arm as you reach out for him. Go ahead and roll a d6.
That hurts.
What's your armor?
I have none.
You have none, so you're going to take 4 points of damage.
Yes, sir.
You basically threw your arm into his mouth, and he manages to scamper around you, avoiding you entirely.
Okay. That's not gonna sit well. I'm done.
The third imp turns after hearing that thump and sees kind of a small puff of smoke where an imp used to be, and he begins chanting. Handy, what are you doing?
Yeah, and all the commotion and being kind of near the bar, I think Handy's going to duck around the bar and maybe get on like a barrel or like one of the big barrels that has meat or ale or something in it, and start grabbing mugs and bottles and things and just start like chucking them at the nearest imp.
All right. The nearest one to you is going to be the one that just bit Im.
Yeah, so just gonna just start grabbing whatever he can that feels heavy and just like start chucking them.
So that sounds like a volley. When you take aim and shoot at an enemy at range, roll plus dexterity. On a 10 plus, you have a clear shot, you deal your damage. On a 7 to 9, choose one. Whichever you choose, you deal your damage. You have to move to get the shot, placing you in danger of the GM's choice. You have to take what you can get, minus 1d6 damage. You have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1.
I got a 6. Complications.
So, what are you throwing?
I think he's kind of trying to watch where the imps are and not like lose too much focus. So he's kind of like blindly grabbing on the bar and just trying to grab whatever when his hand hits it, just hopefully it's something good, and then throw it. So, but he's not really looking at what he's grabbing. He's just blindly grabbing things and trying to throw it in that direction.
All right, so Time, you're hanging out after being bit. It was fun. You charged into this imp and you tried grabbing it and it bit you. All of a sudden there is a barrage of cups and plates. A loaf of bread comes flying out of nowhere, and then a knife is thrown into your arm. Roll a d4 for me.
Handy or Time?
It doesn't matter, honestly. It's going to be
I
the same
gotcha.
damage to Time.
2.
So it's not a deep cut, but you did just get a knife thrown at you.
And however quickly this is happening, if you look back, Andy's just still grabbing at. He's probably still in the motion of like throwing the next thing, so it may not have registered. It'd be hard to tell. Are his eyes open all the way? Probably not, but probably definitely just you still see him grabbing whatever he can, and just the volley is going probably all over.
All right, yeah, Tyler's just gonna start yelling out, just aim left, aim left.
All right, Rose, there is an imp that's about 15 feet away from you near one of the tables that was making a bunch of noise. Can you roll a d20 for me?
Sure, I can do that. That is an 18.
So the imp is chanting and its eyes start glowing, and then it claps its hands together. There wasn't any light underneath the floorboards of the tavern, but somehow it feels like it's glowing dark underneath as the ground begins to shake, making everything pretty unstable, in particular, the patrons around you. Some of them start falling over each other and on top of you. So I need everyone to make a defy danger with, you could do it either way you want. Strength, dexterity, constitution.
Is there any indication as to what's happening, or
The ground is shaking.
sorry, ground shaking.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just rolled snake eyes for a total of whatever 4.
Yeah, I think he's just like hands out.
Partial success.
Complications. I'm getting all the experience.
Same. All right, experience.
Yep,
Mark
and you can
XP.
if it's in the chat, you can hit mark XP and it will add it to your sheet.
Yeah. I was just more concerned about my snake eyes that I rolled. It's fine.
So, Rose, you were up on a table and
Yeah.
up against the window. So the table immediately falls over and you're knocked down onto the ground. And the imp sees this and is going to run up and try to bite you. Time, you manage to keep your footing. Mimi, you actually catch and stabilize the people around you. So everything, the ground isn't littered with bodies. Even if they're alive, everyone's standing around you. So there's this little outcropping in the middle where you managed to keep everyone up. I don't know how you did it. It was pretty impressive to be able to keep like 7 people from falling over.
Yeah, no, it reminded me a lot of like surfing that one time I was on the coast. It was pretty awesome. You just had to like feel it in your feet.
And flail around significantly.
Yeah, that is a lot of arm stuff. Yeah, that's how everyone else got saved. It was actually inadvertent. I was just steadying myself and it forced them to be solid for me. Yeah.
And then Handy, you were up on the bar lobbing things and you're going to get knocked off onto the ground as well. As you hit the ground, another imp is going to materialize right next to you. Now, Rose, you have an imp standing on top of you, and it is lunging at you with some sharp teeth exposed. What are you going to do?
I am going to quickly pull out a vial that she keeps on her person. And it has like this goldenish, brownish color of goop in it. She's just going to quickly put it on her hand, and as it lunges towards her, like try to do the whole like the who do you serve Isengard Saruman thing, like plat her hand on its forehead.
All right, so
and I'm using golden root poison. or potion. I don't know exactly what it is, but
Let's see here. This is gonna be a two-part roll for you because you were knocked down onto the ground. So this creature is kind of on top of you. If you want to, your potion might have been like in a back pocket and you're laying on your back, or maybe it's on the front and you're laying on your front. So you're gonna have to move quickly enough to avoid getting hit. But at the same time, you're also gonna have to roll again to effectively hand palm this thing in the face with your friend making goop before it has the ability to bite you. So you got to make a defy danger, probably with dexterity both times.
okay. Defy danger. Dex. So the first one is a 9, which is a partial success.
All right, go ahead and roll the next one.
That one is an 8, also a partial success.
So in the midst of trying to get up quickly and fumbling into your bag, you're gonna drop something useful. What are you gonna drop? It could be you have throwing daggers and a separate weapon that's like a sword, right?
Like a rapier, yeah.
So it could go either way. It could be like, your rapier's probably on the side in a holster of some sort on a belt, and it could be that in the hustle and bustle of it, you kind of knock the latch on it loose and it slides off as you're reaching for this potion quickly. Or it could be that you've got, where you keep your daggers is nearby and you accidentally knock them out and you can lose an ammo as a result.
We're going to lose the rapier.
Okay.
For now. Yeah.
So the rapier clutters to the floor and you get out this potion. And is it a cork top?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a little, like a small vial with a cork, so she undoes the cork with her teeth.
You slather it on your hand and go to hit the imp in the face. Can you read the poison that you are referring to and its effects?
So I have the poisoner ability as a thief, and so I chose the golden root, which the target treats the next creature they see as a trusted ally until proved otherwise. It has to be applied, which, let me see. Oh, well, okay. So I'm reading through the rules again. I'm realizing I may have to shove my hand in its mouth or shove the vial in its mouth. Because applied means you have to carefully apply it to the target or something they eat or drink.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll retcon this rule right now. If you want it to be effective immediately, it has to be ingested. If you want it to work, it can be applied topically, but it won't happen immediately.
And I want this to work immediately. Otherwise, I
hope
might
so, yeah.
not have benefits. So yeah, I will say that, yeah, she'll, instead of glopping it on her hand, because I feel like she does have some common sense in that little brain, she would probably just hold on to the vial and just kind of go plop at it, hoping to hit it in its mouth.
Well, you get it in its mouth while you're still death gripping the vial, and its teeth are included in this combination with your vial and your hand. So go ahead and roll a d6 as this thing chomps down on you. You're going to take 5 points of damage as these really gross, sharp teeth.
Does that ignore armor, or?
No. Do you have any armor?
I do. I have 1 armor.
That's really surprising, considering our immolator has none.
Well, maybe they should wear armor.
Every time he tries, it melts away. Catches on fire.
Can't find one to withstand the heat.
So it'd be 4 instead of 1? Or 5? Sorry. Okay.
You fist a potion bottle into an imp's mouth, and it bites down, and the imp looks pretty satisfied with getting to chew on you, and then it kind of sputters and chokes and coughs a bit and spits your hand out, looks at you and says,
"Are you my new master now? Hello, friend."
I hurt. Hi. I wouldn't. Master is a... No, let's not go with master. Hi. We can be friends, though. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Grimsnare. It's a pleasure to meet you. You're a funny-looking imp.
Not an imp, but,
Don't get to meet, many non-demon people.
Yeah, I can't imagine that you would. I'm Rose. Hey, what were you doing? Why does the floor kind of look weird?
Oh, I was magic. I cast a spell.
Ooh, what kind of spell?
I was trying to hurt.
That's not very
I think I was
nice.
trying to hurt you. I don't know why I was trying to do that, cause we're buddies.
We are buddies. That wouldn't be very nice to hurt buddies. We don't hurt buddies.
Well, sometimes we do.
No,
Well,
we shouldn't.
but we're demons, so we do. Or we do it if we're told to.
Well, what if you were told not to hurt your buddies?
Well, then, as long as that doesn't contradict whoever's in charge.
Well, who's in charge? Am I in charge?
I don't think so. Are you in charge? I'm not following orders from you right now, so you might be in charge of someone.
I can be in charge if that'll make things easier. I'm in charge.
Can I have your soul?
No, you can't have my soul. I'm in charge. I need it to be in charge.
Well, okay, you can be in charge, but if I don't get souls, Master will kill me. Or kill me and bring me back, or torture me for eons on end. And I've done that a few times. It's not all that enjoyable. So your soul would be great.
Yeah, but this master does not sound like a buddy, and we're buddies.
Well, he kind of owns me, so I don't think he wants me to be his buddy.
Well, that's not very nice. I want us to be buddies, and I don't want to own you. I want us to be buddies.
I don't think I've ever had a buddy before.
Well, we can do like lots of fun things. Like we can okay, I know you're really obsessed with eating souls or getting souls, but like she points at like the food in the bar. Like look at all that cool food. Like they just give that out right now. Like
Is it
and
rotten?
you can have some. No, but if you wait like a couple of days it will be.
Oh, I don't got that kind of time. I good fruit is gross. Needs to be spoiled and rotten and moldy. Oh man, moldy stuff is the best.
Well, maybe we can find some moldy food out back. So she's gonna try to start leading the imp like out back to go find like the trash heap or whatever they put the gross food in.
All right, you'll start meandering towards the back door with Grimsnare. Handy, you're laying on the ground and an imp pops up next to you. Eyes are gonna start glowing. It's gonna make a few words and I want you to roll a d20.
13.
Handy and Time. Actually, all of you are probably close enough to this. Rose is walking back, escorting her new friend, and Time's at the base of the stairs, kind of squaring off with an imp, and Handy's laying on the ground behind the bar. Mimi's dancing, keeping everyone up, and y'all just get so tired. Like man, a nap would be good right now. Could pretty easily fall asleep. Like it's just exhaustion. Like you're so tired. You could feel yourself nodding off, Handy. What are you doing?
As the imp appeared so close, and all of a sudden I kind of go into like a defensive mechanism, and it kind of is a little uncontrollable, but I start to shapeshift as it appears.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to use my shapeshifter ability.
Go ahead.
And I've been playing around with some stuff in the background, so gonna make it a little bit more fun for me.
Go ahead and read that off to us.
So I can call upon the spirits as a druid to change my shape. I get to roll plus wisdom. I take on the physical form of any species whose essence you have studied or who lives in your land. I come from a foresty area. Anything that I'm carrying or any possessions I have can kind of mold into me, so I don't have to keep track of it being with or without. And then if there are any weaknesses or inherent abilities that it has, like if I turn into a bear, I could use, my claws or something. And I'll be able to get what we call holds based on what I roll, and holds can be used as like an extra currency if we come up with something that might need an extra mechanic or something, and you give me like, oh, that'll cost a hold, and I'll get to spend those. So based on how good I roll, I'll either get one or get a couple of those. To make it more fun for me, I'm going to go ahead and roll. I get a 5, which has complications. So I'm curious if I shapeshift at all.
What are you trying to shapeshift into?
Well, that's the thing. So I thought, because just to give it a little bit more variety, I don't shapeshift very often, and sometimes it can be a little hard to pick the right thing. So I was going to roll on a table to see, out of the list we had talked about previously, to see what kind of comes up, kind of in the moment, like, and then I start to transform, hopefully, trying to pick something that is helpful, but it might not always work out for me.
All right, go ahead and roll. Let's see what you were going to land on.
I changed into a deer. So I turned into a pristine, the most gorgeous deer you have ever seen, ever.
Normally,
However, it's also green.
yes, as a druid and a goblin, all of the animals you transform into are always very green, but also beautiful, because Handy is a handsome,
He's gorgeous.
good-looking goblin. It's very weird.
It's kind of off-putting.
Now, this probably would be the most amazing looking deer that anyone has ever seen, except this deer is not alone. Go ahead and roll again.
I am a moose.
You start to transform, and you're doing it in a panic. What happens is you become this deer, and normally your legs would be not nearly as long or as thick, but you get moose legs on this small deer frame. Your deer got a lift kit of about a foot. So you are disproportionate walking around with some seriously lanky legs. It makes you a little unstable and very odd looking. This is
Okay.
probably one of a handful of times where the combination, the whole of the picture isn't really that handsome. If you isolate, you look at the legs, you're like, oh, those are nice elk legs. And then you look at the deer, you're like, that's a nice deer body. But then you step back, you're like, I don't think this is right.
And am I deer sized or moose sized?
You're a deer body with moose legs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So moose sized.
Yeah.
But with
the
frame of a deer.
Yeah.
Like daddy long legs, like really tiny body.
Yes.
Really, really big legs.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then also getting drowsy, so I'm trying to, use the hooves on the slick floor from all the ale and stuff that's probably spilled. Probably making it to the ground quickly, but probably trying to, where I'm able, get away from this imp.
You're struggling to get away, and he's going to take that opportunity to lunge at you, to bite you. But let's hop over to Time, who's at the base of the stairs, squaring off with another imp, who's going to open its mouth, and you're going to hear this bubbling, retching sound deep within it, as you expect it to spit something at you in the near future. What are you doing?
I'm going to, I guess, ignite my burning brand because I've been stabbed and bit, and I'm not happy anymore.
Yeah, flying knives.
So he's pelted with kitchen utensils. And
go ahead and read that off for us. Your burning brand. This is an immolator specific skill.
When you conjure a weapon of pure flame, roll con. You may treat your intelligence as your strength or dexterity in regards to making attacks with the weapon. The weapon always begins with the fiery, touch, dangerous, and 3 use tags. Each attack with the weapon consumes 1 use. On a 7 to 9, choose 1 additional tag. So I'm going to roll. That is a 9. So it's a 10. So I get to choose 1 additional tag. So I'm going to do the +1 to damage.
All right, so what's your weapon damage?
Weapon damage is a D8.
Okay, so you'll be doing a D8 +1. And can you describe the weapon?
As he basically ignites himself, it looks like his chest starts to heat up, and then flames kind of burst up from his chest, come up around his shoulders and down his arms, and creates a spear in his hands. The handle of the spear looking like a white flame, along with the end of the spear turning almost like kind of a reddish orange hue to it. And he's just gonna drive it into the open mouth of the imp who's trying to throw up on him.
All right. You are going to have to take a step back
Okay.
prior to engaging because right now
Yeah.
you are up close and personal with this thing, and you're using a spear, which requires some distance.
Limited distance.
So go ahead and roll your hack and slash.
So it's a partial success. So it's a 9.
All right. So you're going to roll your damage, and
So oh wow, there are 2 points of damage.
all right, and then go ahead and roll a d6.
Ooh. 1 damage.
You know, you got the staircase right behind you, and your footing
Yeah.
isn't that great. So you try kind of climbing the stairs to get some distance to skewer this imp, and you kind of fumble up the stairs, which works sort of to your benefit because when it starts vomiting flame liquid at you, only a little bit splashes on you because you kind of fall off to the side. But as you try to come down with your spear, you only graze the imp across the shoulder. So you do a point of damage, and you take a point of damage. Mimi, you see two small things kind of peruse past you. A little halfling named Rose and one of the imps just chatting like they're best friends, walking towards the back of the building. Then over in the corner by the stairs, Time has been vomited on as well. So you guys are imp vomit buddies. And there's a very unusually tall deer standing behind the bar.
Did I see Handy turn into the deer moose?
I don't know.
Did I
you?
notice this thing? I feel like I would have. Yeah.
It would have been Handy on the bar, fell back, big deer. Also wearing the babushka wrap.
Yeah. I feel like I would know that Handy wasn't a threat. I'm very confused by Rose being a traitor, but it tracks. She's a thief, so she would betray all of us. Like, this is probably
How
just a
dare
ploy
you.
to get all of us. How dare you, ma'am?
I'm leading them away from the fight.
Yeah, it looks like you're in cahoots.
Well, I'm stopping his chanting.
Fair? Yeah.
You can call her out in character.
Yeah, I mean, did she go out the front door or the back door?
No,
Did she
she's
walk
just walking
directly
by,
down?
and you see she's kind of in conversation with an imp.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned by this thing, more concerned about Time being in a battle, also concerned with all the people immediately around me. So I want to assess the situation and sort of gauge who needs my help the most. I believe it's Time at this point, unless there's something I've missed. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go for the. And is the guy the guy that spit on him is the same guy, the Dilophosaurus guy that spit on me?
No, you obliterated the one that.
Yeah,
spit on you.
That's right. He died. You're right. His knees buckled. I'm paying attention. Yeah. So okay. So I want to go help Time because there's still bad guys. Well, is there? Sorry, there's a third guy. Is he between Time and I? Who's closer? Like the last guy or the other
The
guy?
one that's closest to you right now is chatting up Rose. As they approach, you just hear him talking about mold.
I hate to be repetitive, but I need to do spout lore again, and I need to do I know that she has her magic friend goo, or am I just about to attack both of them? Because I really
Spout lore is more for
accumulated knowledge about something. I live in the town with this person. Like, we have interacted at least passively.
spout lore is more about knowledge about how the world works and the
Fair.
things in it, not necessarily your perception on this person and whether or not they're a traitor.
Yeah, and upon further consideration, one of my bonds is that I'm real concerned by Primrose's consistent behavior and real concern for their soul. And this just really tracks. This is just I've always been afraid that she would go too far as long as I've known her.
Mhm.
And it just seems like she finally just made the worst wrong choice. I'm going to attack her friend. I'm just gonna dome him. I want to
Dare you.
just straight swing. Hey, I mean,
So
Sorry.
mean.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say that you
They
probably
said
did not.
they want everyone's souls. I can't let
Gallagher.
you make friends. Like, the only reason I'm not attacking is you is because you're smaller. He's at eye level, so I'm just gonna.
Are they that big?
Well, I don't know. I assumed they were bigger than you. How tall are the imps?
They're pretty small. So she's hanging out with
Grimsnare.
Grimsnare. Let me see what I have written for Grimsnare.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack Grimsnare and lecture Primrose after he's dead.
They're about
and
the
I'm gonna-
same size.
Roll for lecture.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I am just going to like axe chop Grimsnare right in the side of the head. Do you want me to roll a hack and slash
Yeah.
for that? Can I say that at this point, I'm not even trying overly hard not to hit Primrose. Like, I'm really concerned, but like, if she got bumped on accident, I wouldn't be upset with myself.
darn.
And I mean, you're really walking
Oh,
in, you're towing the
no.
line. um,
EVP didn't take long.
Hey, she's like colluding with the enemy. She has betrayed us all and brought enemies to steal our souls. And
So-
is nonchalant enough to just bullshit with them while they're trying to steal our souls. We're all fighting for our lives, and she's just catching up with a buddy. It's really
Yeah,
concerning.
we're going out and getting some food. Jeez.
Yeah, I smashed the guy. I got an 11. And I'm going for full, like you ever see the 13 Ghosts, what happened to Matthew Lillard? Like that.
So you're coming down.
Yeah. Well, more of actually a sideways angle. I kind of imagine it like, but yeah, no, just gonna chop it. Blade side, no smashy smash. I'm trying to cut him in half.
Rose, flip a coin for me.
Real.
What if I have no coins? Hold on, I can roll it. I think I can roll
D2, you can.
D2.
That's essentially what I'm asking.
Yeah. I got a 2.
All right, so this works out. So, Rose, you happen to be closest to Mimi, and this is actually to your benefit because Mimi's going to step out from his little encapsulation of people that are still standing, and Grimsnare is going to be on the far side from you. So, he's going to step out, and because everyone else had fallen down, he is clear to swing nice and wide and nice and low without worrying about hitting anyone else. So go ahead and roll your damage.
4.
So you're going to swing wide and come down and cleave this thing in the shoulder, and it is going to take 3 points of damage because it has some armor itself. Rose, you're walking along, chatting, describing how good the mold is out back. Trash has been collecting for some time. And all of a sudden, a tall individual kind of comes shooting out of the bushes of people it was in the middle of and swings his hammer axe down, and your new friend is bleeding severely.
And I yell, Primrose, what have you done?
What have I done? What have you done?
I'm saving everybody.
By hurting my buddy, who I was stopping from. I was telling him to stop talking and bringing a weird light.
What happened to we don't hurt friends?
I'm so sorry. He's not my buddy anymore. You're my buddy, Grimsnare.
Okay.
And go ahead and roll a d20, Mimi.
You trying to force me to attack her? What is wrong with you? A D20. Okay.
What is that, a 6?
Yep, it is.
Oh no.
Grimsnare, was just given the green light, both by your attack, but also Rose's complete indifference to you guys being not imps and not on the same team. His eyes glow and shadowy tendrils reach out from the ground, scratching and clawing at you. Unfortunately, Rose, you're close enough to this that they're going to scratch and claw at you too. So go ahead and roll a d4, each of you.
That's a 3 for me.
And a 3 for me.
All right, so you have 2 armor, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're only going to take a point of damage. It's like walking through a thorn bush. It was unpleasant. And Rose, you have 1 armor, right?
Yep.
You had a bigger thorn bush. Your scratches were a little deeper, and Grimsnare's going to turn to you. And,
Oh, I'm sorry. Chaos magic doesn't control well, and I can't.
Oh,
You were
that's
too
okay.
close.
I know, I'm sorry. Well, we were buddies. We were gonna go get some moldy food and not do summoning magic anymore. And she's like giving a very pointed look at Mimi as she says that.
Mimi does not understand and is gonna look at you and scream, "Why are you helping them?"
I'm giving him moldy food, not souls! For fuck's sake!
This isn't registering to me at all. So either we move on, or I'm just gonna attack again.
Well, she's going to try to lead Grimsnare back out the back door.
I can't let you do that.
My arm hurts.
I am so
Good.
sorry. Shut up, Mimi.
I don't understand what's happening. I thought you were our friend.
Andy, you're wobbly and behind the bar, and you're trying to get your bearing, and all you could hear is Mimi and Rose yelling at each other, and you're really confused about why. And the imp next to you is trying to bite you. What are you doing?
The ears are going in all different directions. Am I on my feet?
Yes.
Hooves. Then yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get not behind the bar, which I feel like is the long, narrow, section that I now don't fit in anymore, and I'm gonna start bucking and trying to move out of the way, try to do it, have it come through as an attack, but also moving away from this imp that's trying to bite me. So I'm gonna be kicking these moose legs in all different directions, trying to back away, but trying to also inflict some damage as well.
What's the goal?
The goal,
Are you trying to injure the imp or leave?
I'm trying to leave.
Okay. So that would be a defy danger then.
All right. Let's see. I think because of my new form, I guess powering through just to kind of, because I figure I don't fit in this spot anymore. So I'm going to try and force my way out of it, which comes with a 3. So I get more experience with complications.
Well, I mean, you're tired, but not only that, your legs are really weird. You do not recall walking being this strange. There was a significant amount of space behind the bar. It wasn't, a pretty narrow space. Your perception of how big your legs are in relation to what they should be just means that, you go to pick up a foot to go over the bar and just slam into the bar. Totally missing the fact that your legs are, a foot longer than they normally would be. You're going to get bit. Now you can take the damage, or you can de-transform, I guess is the revert back to your normal self, and take half damage, but you'll lose your shapeshift and your abilities.
Yeah, I think getting out of the shapeshift would make the most sense in Handy's mind, because it's nothing feels right. It didn't go how it was supposed to, so he's gonna undo that and shrink back down to normal size.
All right, so go ahead and roll a d6.
5.
Given the failure of this, for mitigating damage into being half, more often than not, it would be like a round down, but we're rounding up. So you're going to take 3 points of damage. And the reason for that is it goes in to bite you, but your shape changes while it's trying to do so. So it kind of interferes with how well it's able to sink its teeth into you.
And I can use my armor against that?
Yes, your armor does count.
Cool.
How much armor do you have?
1.
All right, so you only take 2 points of damage. Time, what are you doing?
Am I, able to look this thing in the eyes? Right, make a direct eye contact with him.
The imp that you're squared off with?
Yeah. Okay. I want to use another one of his moves called "Give Me Fuel, Give Me Fire."
All right, go ahead and read that off to us. What is that?
When you gaze intensely into someone's eyes, you may ask them a question. They'll answer it, or example question is what fuels the flames of their desire. they'll answer the answer with the truth, even if the character does not know or would otherwise keep this hidden.
All right.
So he's basically just gonna slam the spear down, look at him, and ask him, who sent y'all here?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a role? I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's a role associated with it. I mean, they just do it.
Seems to be.
How's that do?
Oh, that's not how that works.
Is it inside of someone's eyes? You may ask the player.
What fuels the
What feels
flames of
the
your desire?
They'll answer.
That's the question.
Oh, that's the actual question. Oh,
Yep.
okay. Well, I mean, I'll still ask that question. Still give me something as to why they're here. That was just like an example sentence. Okay, but I'll stick with it.
So it's like
Mhm.
command, but it only has one thing.
Yeah,
What's your kink?
I'm trying so hard not to think in
More or
D&D
less.
terms.
I know.
It's so hard.
I wish to be Master's right hand.
Okay, who's master?
Your mother.
And then he's going to mumble something in demonic, and the room is going to grow dark.
Okay.
So at the entrance of the tavern, in the doorway, darkness starts collecting until it fills the doorway and you're no longer able to see outside, not able to see anything. And the figure of a man emerges within, shrouded in a cloak woven from the depths of the void itself. With each step, the darkness from this portal clings to it as it moves through into the tavern. The man who's tall, with a gaunt frame, wearing a midnight-hued robe that seems to suck the light out of the air around it. The fabric itself is edgeless. On his face, he wears this very unique, ornate mask, which has a variety of runes that are etched into it, dancing around. Through the eye sockets are bright, glowing, piercing eyes. And there's kind of like this, it's not a gust of wind. It feels like a gust of death. Life energy draining presence. Like you can feel there is a threat and it kind of washes over you. It's not like he landed, but you know, when he finally kind of gets into the room, he just kind of snaps into position. And he looks around and observes what's happening and turns to Embermaw. I had to figure out who I'm talking to. So many names to juggle here. Says, "Oh, Embermaw, what are you doing that you know so much better than to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of a important conversation with those that I'm interrogating? Why am I here? This will cost you dearly." And he pauses for a beat and looks around and then notices a smoky pile on the ground and the fact that several of you are maneuvering. And then he turns over to Grimsnare. "Grimsnare, what? I swear you're all fucking useless. Okay, well, here's the plan. We're gonna send you all to the void." And he snaps his fingers, and these shadowy portals pop up underneath each one of the imps, and these grotesque shadow hands claw out of them and grab the imps and rip them down into it. And you hear them scream as they are pulled into the floor, and then they disappear. And the masked figure looks at you guys and waves his hand. He says, "Well, you know, I'd love to stick around and deal with this myself, but as I said, important things happening. The rack won't rack itself."
Rose raises her hand.
"You know, I don't normally take questions, but this is fascinating."
No.
Yes, tiny thing.
Hi. Name's Rose. Where'd my buddy go? That was my buddy, and you kind of took him away, and yeah, we were like having a great conversation. Are you his master?
Oh, you know what? Generally, I murder people who try talking to me, but you've actually done me a great service because I didn't know that Grimsnare had a buddy, and he is definitely going to lose a limb for that
Hey,
one.
so question.
So we are
no
done
question.
talking. He waves his hands.
Oh, no.
And you all go silent, except for the fact that each of you feels a burning rage inside. So here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to kill each other and then yourselves, and I'm just going to leave. So have fun, and I will never see you again. Ta-ta! And he turns around and walks back through his little shadowy portal and disappears.
I feel like when the silence happened, Rose was just still like moving the mouth
Oh,
back
she
in.
was. And then she like realized nothing was happening, so she's like trying to find something to write so she can still talk to this mofo.
You guys are overwhelmed with rage, and the only people around that look like opportunities to quell this fire is each other, as you've been compelled to fight the thing closest to you, which means that Rose and Mimi are about to throw hands, which, you know, to be fair, looked like it was going to happen anyways.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
zero reason not to arrest her.
time and handy, y'all are about to start brawling. Before we find out who gets bruised first, you'll have to tune in next time to see how well you guys clobber each other.
So
So with that, we are ending our session, which moves us on to end of session, which I have to find. So when you reach the end of a session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved, completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise. Ask the player of the character you have the bond with if they agree. If they do, mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish. Once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you filled your alignment at least once the session, mark XP. Then answer some questions as a group. Did we learn anything new and important about the world? Did we overcome a notable monster enemy? Did we loot a memorable treasure? For each yes answer, everyone marks XP. So these are the methods for gaining experience and levels. It's failures and completing your bonds, your alignment, doing important things in session. Now, we haven't gone over the bonds with any of the characters, but bonds are the relationship ties and the way that players perceive each other. So let's go ahead and have each one of you basically kind of skim through your bonds real quick to talk about what they are, and we'll go from there. Andy, what are your bonds?
So I've got two. Time smells like a campfire because he's always on fire.
Mhm.
And Primrose is small folk like me. I trust her more than other tall folk. More than the tall folk.
All right.
That's what I got from my bonds right now.
did you see her be a traitor?
No, he was
I think
behind
I
the bar.
was I think I was trying to keep my balance at the time.
Yeah, neither of those sound like they were probably resolved in this particular episode.
I think I'm still trying to wrap my head around what bonds are supposed to be
Yeah.
for this
Same here.
game. So, because I feel like, how do we resolve the fact that I think someone smells like something? If they, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think my head's in the right space. So I don't know.
I mean, did you get close enough to smell him earlier?
Probably
It's
through
good.
like past interactions or just being around. But
So does
I don't know.
confirmation count as completion? Because that's kind of mine too. It's like, does confirmation of my bond count as completing my bond?
Yeah, what we're talking, the bonds are basically your perceptions of an individual, and if those perceptions are or biases are confirmed or shifted in some way. So to be like, you know, this dude smells like a campfire, that could either be a positive or a negative thing. It could be kind of like an insult, like he's only good for being smelly, he's a dunce, I don't appreciate him. Or it could be like, it reminds me of home in a way, and there's something kind of nice about it, or something else. And then if you encounter something where it becomes the opposite, where it's like, oh, he's really, you know, I thought he was just like this smelly looking dude. Turns out he's proven himself in some way to where it's like, oh, there's more to him. And now I think this about him. That one's a little trickier in nature based on the way it's written.
Right.
The overarching theme is just, it's a perception of a player, your relationship. It describes, you know, what's going on between you two. And then when that shifts, that's when you would consider it, you know, completed.
Gotcha. Okay. I think I get it.
And what's your alignment?
Good.
What's your action for it?
Help something or someone grow.
You help someone bleed.
Yeah, I don't think it was fulfilled.
Yeah, Andy, that hurt.
It's a little on the vague side, but I don't think that one's coming into play here.
All right. I don't know what order we normally go in, but Mimi, what are your What are your bonds?
My bonds are, I feel like, all pretty well confirmed or completed. Primrose's misguided behavior endangers her very soul. It's assured, like, she's a lost cause. I feel like I can pretty confidently, like, assume that there's no redemption for her after today.
Oh no.
Handy has stood by me in battle and can be trusted completely. I feel like, I mean, the very least, I observed him fight the same bad guys with me while Primrose was like making friends. We were killing the baddies, so like he stood by me in battle. Maybe not shoulder to shoulder, but definitely the same battle on the same side. And Time is a brave soul, and I have much to learn from him. I mean, I totally watched him tank a Dilophosaurus spit, so that's cool. I don't know, like, I guess I could learn some. I didn't learn anything from him, but I definitely confirmed that he's a brave soul.
Not yet.
Well, you already believe he's brave.
Yeah, especially after seeing him like tank the same. Like, he's at least as badass and tough as me because I tanked that and then he tanked it too. So like, he is for sure. Like, I know he's solid.
But did you learn something from him? Because you believed he was brave already, and you just saw him be brave. So that's not like
Yeah, that's
anything
true.
new.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that I learned anything from Time this time.
It does sound like your opinion of Rose has definitely come to
Been
fruition. So
Yeah,
you can
that appears to be.
you can mark that bond, mark experience, and write a new one for how you really feel.
Okay. I
And you don't
will
have to have
figure out
that
how to
now.
do
You
that.
can address that, and
Yeah.
we'll bring that up at the beginning of the next episode. What's your alignment,
I am good.
and what is your
Action
action?
is
Yeah.
commitment to protecting others. Just unadulterated, non-selfish, self-destructive protection of others.
I'm gonna put this to a vote for the group. You did move to the protection. You got some people out the door, and
Yeah.
you managed to, juggle everyone from falling. So,
And
like,
from
you
falling.
protected your surroundings. However, you also
And
did
tanked
partially.
the acid spit to
you
make
also-
sure that no one got collateral.
Somebody.
You know what? I would say because the majority of your actions were positive, minus the cleaving of one of the patrons, that it's safe to say that you still acted with good intent. So the execution may have fallen just a tad short
It's a
this
little
time
work.
around, but I think that you did well in staying true to your oath. So you can mark XP for that. Time, what are your bonds?
How Handy has felt the hellish touch of fire and now knows my strength.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be more. Might be more applicable to the next session. See, and then I have. I will teach Mimi the true meaning of sacrifice. I have not done that yet. And then for Primrose, I'd casted something into the fire for Rose, and I still owe them their due.
Yeah, okay. And what's your alignment?
Alignment is neutral. Exchange a sacrifice or freely given for a service rendered.
All right, so there's a no-go on all of those. Rose.
So I only have one bond,
That's okay.
and that's I stole something from Time. I have his wife's necklace.
All right. I think it's safe to say that you could probably write a bond for Mimi.
Yeah.
Given this
Can
particular
I have a
interaction.
bond? Do we have bonds with NPCs or is that just PCs?
It's just with your main people.
Gotcha. So okay, yeah, I will write a new one for Mimi.
All right, and what's your
I'll think
alignment?
about what that is.
And action for it.
My alignment is neutral, which is avoid detection or infiltrate a location, which I don't really think I did this time.
No. All right, and then last but not least, did we learn something new and important about the world?
I feel like we had, I don't know, because we kind of saw a new masked dude and we saw imps and stuff, but I don't know if that's really learning anything new.
Demons exist.
Y'all knew that
Traitors
already.
among
Not new to me.
Magic is real.
Yeah, it's not going to count if, like, every time you meet a new person, you're like, I learned something about the world. His name was John.
Goblins are green.
Goblin Jew is turned into green animals.
Yeah, didn't expect that, honestly.
Did you overcome a notable monster or enemy?
No, not
No,
really.
not
I guess, well, wasn't really noticeable, but Mimi did destroy an imp.
Yeah, your everyday
Street
XP
corner peddler.
farming creatures don't really count as notable enemies in the world. And you got 0 treasure, besides the treasure of friendship.
Did I really get friendship?
Rose walked off
this
with a
time?
scarf.
And a necklace.
Grimshank will for sure never forget you. Like, you've totally screwed up his relationship with his master. long term.
His name is Grimsnare. Thank you very much.
Crap, you're right.
You
I'm
ruined
too-
his life.
Actually, I have made a note. I have a new objective: become Grimsnare's new master, so that he will be well treated.
Oh god, that's
Oh.
exciting.
I'm gonna get the rest of that arm.
That's funny.
That's the highlight of this episode for me, is hearing that desire, that objective. I now have things to play with. This is fun. All right, so some of y'all got some experience. That will conclude this episode, and next time when we come back, our team will start beating on each other, and we'll go from there. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Huzzah, we're done.
Woohoo, we did it.
I got 4 experience out of that whole thing. So
I
I
don't
got
know how to-
one. I got one.